My coworker kept stealing my lunch, so I mixed laxatives in the lunch. She had a severe allergic reaction, got hospitalized, and almost died. Now she is suing me for attempted murder. ATA? For the past 3 months, someone at my job has been consistently stealing my food that I bring from home so I don't have to use the snack machine or walk across the street to McDonald's like the majority of my coworkers do. In the first month, I noticed someone had been gradually taking some of my food. 1 out of 3 slices of pizza gone, 20% of my soup gone, Cheetos bag completely gone, etc. Didn't think much of it, and simply decided to now attach a "please don't touch" paper sign on my stuff. In the second month, at start of the month, my food became untouched, but progressively went back to the usual. At the beginning of the third month, I asked coworkers if they had taken or knew who was taking my food, and no one had a clue, which is kind of believable as most of us take our lunches separately. I decided to eat McDonald's or go to 7-Eleven and stop bringing food, but then it started fucking with my financial stability. 10 to 12 days a paycheck, 14 days, consistently buying food? I decided to take matters into my own hands. My friend told me about a reel that she saw where a girl put laxative into her own food to see who was the culprit, and that's exactly what I did. What I wasn't expecting was for the girl, late 20s, to have an allergic reaction to an ingredient, and ended up going to the hospital. After work, all of us went to visit her in the hospital where we all talked about what happened and admitting to putting laxative into my own food. 6/8 co-workers, all girls, were disgusted by my actions and were on her side. One girl was whatever about it, and the last guy said she shouldn't have been touching my food to begin with. I told the girl that I hope she gets better and went home, but I didn't apologize for what I did, and I'm not going to. Today, day off, I received a phone call from our supervisor, who I spoke to about my issue between after the first month and told me she can't help me there because she's not our mom, and essentially told me I had to apologize to her or else I wouldn't be able to come back to work until I do. And I'm assuming if I take too many days, I'd just be fired for not coming to work. Update 1. Just received a text from my supervisor telling me the coworker doesn't need to apologize and it's up to her discretion if she chooses to apologize or not for stealing my food. Update 2. I'm a male for those who keep referring to me as a she, even though I never mention my gender LOL. Update 3. Male coworker who was on my side told me the girl is going to take legal action for attempting to kill her. He overheard the girls talking today at work. Update 4. Many of you YTA voters are forgetting the fact that my "please do not touch" sign never left. Even though it stopped working eventually, I still kept it there. So when she took my laxative food from my plastic bag, the sign "please don't touch my food" was still on it. My daughter rejected her crush after his accident left scars. Now my husband calls her a shallow monster. Hello all, my husband and I have been arguing about this all day and I need some outside perspective. My husband picked my daughter, Cindy, up from school and he saw her speaking to a schoolmate that she had previously had a crush on. For context, last year during a sleepover, my husband and I overheard Cindy's friends lightly teasing her over having a crush on this boy. My husband also gently teased her with some innocent jokes like, "Cindy and boy sitting on a tree, KISSING" type of silliness, and he sometimes brings it up randomly to tease her, like asking her if she wants to invite her boyfriend when we go on family outings. She never actually dated him or is even friends with him as far as we know. Her dad just likes to tease her. Anyway, apparently over the summer the boy was injured in an accident, and he missed the first couple of weeks of school as a result. When my husband was picking her up, he saw them talking and noticed that the boy had significant scarring on his face and hand. When he asked her what happened to him and what they were talking about, saying that the boy looked disappointed, she explained to him about his accident and that he was just asking her out on a date, but that she turned him down. My husband was furious at her and scolded her for being so shallow as to reject him because his appearance has changed. Cindy was crying when she got home. She told me all this and insisted she was polite when turning him down and was just not interested in him romantically anymore. I told my husband to apologize to my daughter and that he never should have made her feel bad for turning down anyone's romantic advances. I told him that our daughter is old enough to decide who she is attracted to, and it would be cruel of her to have said yes out of pity, thus leading him on. My husband is now saying that he sees me differently, and that I should be ashamed for teaching Cindy to be a shallow monster and ableist. He is also angry that I undermined him when he was scolding our daughter and says we should not undermine each other's authority when disciplining our child. I was not doing it to undermine him. I just think it's not healthy to make our daughter feel guilty and shamed for not being interested in someone. I do feel bad for the boy, but I don't think it is anyone's place, neither mine nor my husband's, to tell Cindy she has to date someone, or she's a bad person. AITA? Edit. Wow. I did not anticipate this getting so many responses when I wrote it last night before bed. I'm trying to read through all the replies so I can approach this with my husband again later today. I'm also going to have a talk privately with Cindy about the situation. Thank you so much for all the responses. I feel more confident now in my choice to defend Cindy. My husband is not a bad guy. He didn't tease Cindy to hurt her, it was to be playful, and Cindy didn't seem too bothered by it. She would usually brush him off when he made those jokes. I think my husband was short-sighted when it came to this situation, but he is not a bad father and he really loves me and his daughter, even if he makes mistakes sometimes. AITA for kicking my broke-ass sister and her boyfriend out because they don't respect my sleep schedule. My 34F sister, 27F, and her boyfriend, 28M, moved in with me at the end of August after he was laid off from work. She doesn't make enough to pay rent on her own. The agreement was for them to stay at my apartment through the holidays so they could save up money and he could find a new job. All they'd have to contribute is $500 for rent and food. He has done his part and found a new job, and they have been saving money for their move, which is part of the reason why I feel like I might be the asshole here. I work graveyard in a small group home for adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. I cannot sleep at work because I'm the only one there, and I have to be awake in case one of our residents needs me or there's an emergency. I spend my time at work cleaning, doing documentation, changing people's depends, making their meals for the next day, and giving a few of them their showers in the morning. Needless to say, I have to stay awake and alert the entire time I'm there. My sister has a difficult time understanding that I need my place to be reasonably quiet during the day so I can get my sleep. I could understand some normal amount of noise, but she took it over the top, laughing obnoxiously loud, blasting her music or TV in the living room, right next to my bedroom, having loud guests over, being very loud in the bathroom and kitchen, etc. I asked very nicely many times to please keep it down, and she always apologized and said, okay. But then she started to make it my problem and said I should buy noise-canceling headphones or sleep at my boyfriend's place instead. I finally got upset and told her they're being allowed to stay with me as guests, and if she can't act as such, then they need to find somewhere else to stay. She spent the rest of the day calling all her friends and everyone in our family telling them how horrible I am for threatening to kick them out. Our parents reached out to me and asked if that was true. I told them the situation, and they're on my side, but said I should give them the month to figure things out. I called and spoke with her boyfriend, and he felt genuinely bad about the situation and had no idea this was an issue. I try not to bring him into things, but figured since this would affect him, it was only right. Now she's even more furious with me because I went behind her back and called him and manipulated him into being on my side. I told her, look, I will give them until November 1st to figure something out. And he even said it probably wouldn't even be that long as they could go stay with his parents, but my sister is choosing to die on this hill and make me out to be the villain when all I wanted was some quiet so I could function at work. AITA for kicking them out? I do feel bad because her boyfriend is doing what he can and is being reasonable. I just don't understand why my sister can't comprehend that I can't sacrifice my sleep and put my livelihood at risk. Thoughts?